Right, so get this. Today, we're going someplace, I guess, unexpected.
Oh.
Yeah, a deep dive into a world of, well, talking animals and heartwarming lessons.
Interesting.
We're exploring these children's stories, right?
Yeah.
All about Leo the lion and his forest friends.
It might seem a little different from what we usually do, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
But, sometimes actually the most profound insights come from the simplest stories, I think.
I think you're right. I love, we both love a good complex analysis, but there's something about these stories, right?
Yeah.
You just get drawn in.
Absolutely.
And what's really struck me is, like, they're dealing with these big ideas.
Yeah.
Leadership, community, facing challenges, all through these adorable forest creatures.
Exactly. And they do it in such a subtle way, It's so engaging.
Yeah.
Take Leo, for instance.
Okay.
He's a lion.
Right, the king of the jungle, all that.
Right. But he doesn't lead by force or intimidation or any of that.
Yeah, so different.
He's all about empathy and understanding.
It's like they flipped the script on the typical lion, right?
Totally.
He's not roaring around demanding obedience or anything.
No.
He's helping Daisy the deer find food.
Right.
He's untangling Max the monkey's tail from the vines. He's like the Mr. Rogers of the forest.
That is such a perfect way to put it.
Right.
And it really makes you think, what does that say about leadership?
Yeah.
What if, instead of overpowering people, we focused on empowering them?
Okay, yeah.
Like, can you imagine a workplace where the boss is more like concern about understanding everyone's needs
Oh,
and
man.
helping them succeed rather than just barking orders?
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
I've definitely worked in places where a little more Leo-style leadership would have been great.
For sure. It really challenges like what we think of as strength, right?
Yeah.
Leo shows that real strength, true strength, isn't about physical power.
Mm-hmm.
It's about compassion and understanding and using, whatever influence you have to help others.
I'm hooked. This is great. And it's not just Leo, is it?
Oh, no.
It's the whole forest. They're all about this cooperation and mutual respect.
Exactly.
Like, everyone gets that they're in this together.
Right.
They have to be.
It's a perfect example of community, in action. The squirrels, they share their nuts.
Oh,
The birds, they help spread seeds. And even Leo, he pitches in to find berries during the winter when things are tough. They all contribute what they can,
Yeah.
They make this incredibly resilient and supportive environment.
Have you ever experienced that? I mean, that kind of energy?
Oh, of course.
Like when a group comes together and everyone contributes their part and they just, they achieve something amazing.
Absolutely. There's this incredible synergy that happens,
Yeah.
when everyone's working together towards a common goal.
Like what?
Like when a community comes together after, like a natural disaster or something, everyone just pitches in, offers what they can.
Amazing, right?
They manage to rebuild and support each other through these incredibly difficult situations.
It's really inspiring, like seeing, I don't know, humanity at its best. And then I think about those moments in these stories
Yeah.
when the forest is facing its own challenges, like the natural ones and, the human-caused ones, right?
Right. The stories don't shy away from those difficulties,
No.
The forest faces natural disasters,
Right.
floods,
Yeah.
and then there's the whole issue of the humans, right, coming into their territory. It's in these moments that you see how strong they are as a community.
Like in that one story,
Mm.
when the flood almost washes away Felix the Fox's home.
Oh, yeah.
It would have been so easy for everyone to just panic,
Yeah.
but instead they jumped right into action.
Totally.
You have the rabbits, they're carrying twigs.
Right.
The monkeys are up in the trees checking for danger.
Yeah.
It's chaos.
It is.
But it's like organized chaos.
It is. It's such a great example of everyone working together to solve a problem. They don't have time to blame each other. They just look at the situation, figure out what they can do, and get to work.
I mean, the flood, right? That's a force of nature.
Right.
You can't really control that.
Nope.
But you can control how you respond to it. And they do it so well, so resilient, so resourceful. I
Yeah.
feel like it's a metaphor,
Right.
life.
Oh, yeah.
We all face these unexpected challenges, things we can't plan for. And these stories, they remind us that even in a crisis,
There's a solution.
yeah, like usually, if we work together, we can find one. If we're willing to be creative to help each other.
I love that.
And then you have, you have the humans
Oh, yeah.
arriving in the forest.
Right.
That's a whole other kind of challenge. Not like a flood or a storm.
No, it's not.
This is something that could just wipe them out. Like, their whole way of life could be destroyed.
Absolutely.
Just to figure out how to coexist with beings that are so different.
The humans are the unknown, right? The other.
Right.
And they could, like you said, destroy everything.
And I love that Leo, he doesn't just, like, freak out or get aggressive.
Oh.
He tries to talk to them.
Yeah.
He wants to show the humans that the forest is important, that it's this living community that's worth protecting.
It's a powerful message, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially now. You know, the world seems so divided. What if, instead of fighting all the time, we just tried to understand each other?
Yeah.
You know?
What if we look for what we had in common?
Exactly. Wow.
Wow. Okay. I'm seeing now how these simple stories are actually about some really deep stuff, like how to be better in the world,
I know, right?
both individually and as as a community.
Absolutely. And we've only just started.
We've barely scratched the
There's
surface.
so much more to unpack.
Well, hold on, everyone. We'll be back to dive even deeper into the world of Leo and his forest friends. Okay, so we're back, still in the world of Leo the lion and his friends, right?
Yeah.
And I have to say, these stories, I mean, they're charming, but they're also, like, super wise.
Right. What's really interesting to me is how they deal with these huge themes in these really small moments. Like, remember when Daisy the deer, she notices there aren't as many flowers blooming in the meadow?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Like, at first, it just seems like a tiny detail.
Right. But it ends up setting off this whole chain of events.
Yeah, it wasn't really about the flowers themselves.
It was more like a symptom of a bigger problem, like,
Oh.
you know, a little alarm bell going off.
Okay.
A sign that something was wrong with the whole ecosystem.
That's interesting.
It makes you think, what are the alarm bells we miss in our own lives,
Whoa.
you know, or in our communities?
That's a really good question. I feel like we get so caught up in the day-to-day, right? We just don't notice things.
Exactly. But these stories, they're like, hey, pay attention. The little things matter.
I like that. Pay attention. So, okay, it was that attentiveness, right, that leads them to figure out what the problem is.
Exactly. They find this bear,
Right, right.
this lost bear. It's bigger and clumsier than any bear they've ever seen before.
Yeah, and it wasn't like trying to hurt anyone on purpose.
Right.
But it was messing things up just by, like, existing.
Yeah.
It needed things that the forest couldn't really provide. It would have been so easy to make the bear, like, the bad guy.
Oh, absolutely.
But they didn't do that.
No, they didn't.
They were so compassionate.
It's incredible.
They saw that the bear was scared and confused,
Right.
not mean.
Exactly. It's lost. It just needs help.
Oh, is this where you were talking about that restorative justice thing?
Yes, you remember.
Kind of. I mean, honestly, that went over my head a little.
Okay, well, restorative justice is this idea that when someone does something wrong,
Yeah.
it's not always about punishing them. It's about fixing the harm that was done, you know, like figuring out why it happened
Okay.
and helping everyone involved heal and move on.
Okay. I'm starting to get it.
So, like with the bear, right, instead of driving it away or
Yeah.
trying to punish it,
Yeah.
they help it. They try to understand what it needs.
That's so cool.
They want to help it find a place where it can be happy without, you know, hurting the forest.
Makes you think, right?
About?
How we deal with problems.
Yeah.
Like in our own lives and, in the world. What if we were more focused on understanding why things happen instead of just blaming people?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a huge idea.
It is, but seeing it happen in the story, you know,
Yeah.
it's so heartwarming. The animals, they gather food for the bear. They help it find a new home. It makes you think that maybe, just maybe, we could do that too. Be that compassionate.
I love that. Okay, and there's another thing, this whole idea of growth and change.
Oh, yes. It's a major theme in these stories. Everyone is on this journey, all right? They're always learning, always evolving.
It's like they're leveling up.
Exactly. Like Leo, at the beginning, he thinks strength is all about, you know, being the biggest and strongest.
Classic lion. Right.
But then as he faces these challenges, he realizes that real strength is about empathy and working with others.
Yeah, yeah. He becomes such a better leader. Less commanding, more inspiring. Like in a video game.
I love that. And it's not just Leo, it's everyone.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Like Daisy, she starts off kind of timid.
Right.
But then she gets more and more confident. She speaks her mind. She even challenges Leo sometimes.
Totally. And Max, he starts as the funny one.
Yeah, the jokester.
But then when things get tough, he's a hero. He's so quick thinking. Even Oliver the owl, he's always saying he's still learning.
Right. Everyone's always growing.
And it makes the whole community stronger. And, you know, this growth, it even applies to the humans.
Oh, right. Right when they first show up.
Yeah. It was scary. No one knew what would happen. It could have been a disaster.
But instead of fighting,
They talk.
yeah, they talk. The humans, they learn about the forest and how important it is.
And they work together
Yeah.
to find a way for both of them to, coexist peacefully.
It's like, what if we could do that in the real world?
No. It's so powerful, right?
Yeah. What if we could see past our differences and, I don't know, learn from each other?
It's a beautiful thought.
So these stories, they're like a guide to a better way of being in the world.
Absolutely. And we've only talked about a few of them. There's so much more to explore.
So much wisdom packed into these little tales.
Right. And it all comes back to this idea of interconnectedness.
Yeah, you see it everywhere. The flowers, the bear, the humans, everything affects everything else.
It's like the stories are whispering to us, They're saying, wake up. You're part of something much bigger than yourself.
Your actions matter. I mean, it's so important, especially now.
Right. It's so easy to feel alone, like what we do doesn't matter. But these stories, they remind us that we're all connected. We're part of this amazing, beautiful web of life.
And every little thing we do can make a difference.
Exactly. So we have Leo, right? He's not just a lion. He's like a symbol
Of what?
of what's possible when we choose empathy, when we choose understanding, when we respect all living things.
He's reminding us that real strength comes from helping each other.
From working together to make a world where everyone can be happy.
I love that. I think we could all use a little more of that these days.
I agree.
Well, folks, we've gone deep into the forest, but our deep dive is not over yet. We'll be back soon to wrap things up and see what other gems of wisdom we can find with Leo and his friends. Okay, so we're back for our final dive into Leo the Lion's world.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I'm surprised, like these children's stories, they're pretty deep.
It is amazing. Like we've covered so much leadership, community, resilience, and through it all, this idea of everything being connected.
Right, it just keeps coming back. From the little things like
Yeah.
Daisy and the flowers to the humans arriving, it's like it's all part of the same, fabric.
It is. It's like the stories are a lesson in how everything we do, even the small stuff, affects the whole web of life.
Like they're saying, hey, wake up. You're not alone. You're part of this whole system, this big, beautiful, sometimes fragile system.
Exactly. And the thing is, it's not preachy at all.
No.
It's just like part of the story.
You get caught up in what's happening, You're rooting for the characters, and then, boom, the lesson hits you.
That's the magic of stories, isn't it? They sneak in and make you think without you even realizing it.
Okay, so as we wrap up, I'm thinking, how do we take these lessons and actually use them? Like, they're inspiring, but how do we make them real in our own lives?
Well, the first thing I think is just being aware, like Daisy with the flowers.
Right.
We have to pay attention to what's happening around us. What are the alarm bells going off in our own communities and the environment? What about in our relationships with other people?
Okay, so be more observant. Got it. What else?
Then we have to act. Remember how the whole forest came together to deal with that flood?
Yeah, they didn't waste time blaming each other.
Right. No arguments, just action. They each used what they were good at and found a way to fix the problem.
It's such a cool image. So we can't just see problems and do nothing. We got to get involved, be part of the solution.
Exactly. And we don't have to have all the answers or do it all ourselves. Sometimes just being there, being supportive, working with others who are already doing good things, that's enough.
It's like that saying, right? If you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together.
I love that. And of course, there's Leo. He shows us how important it is to lead with compassion.
Yeah.
Remember how he dealt with the bear? He didn't use force. He didn't try to punish it.
Yeah, he was so understanding.
He knew the bear wasn't trying to be bad. It was just scared and lost.
That part really got to me. Like, it made me think sometimes the bravest thing, the best thing, is to choose kindness over anger. To be understanding even when it's hard.
It's not always easy, that's for sure, especially when someone hurts you or you're angry. But these stories, they show us it's possible, and that when you do that, when you lead with compassion, it can really change things for the better.
So it's like, be aware, take action, and be kind.
You got it. And if we can all do those things, even in small ways, I really believe we can change the world.
It's like these simple little stories have given us this, roadmap to a better world. A world where we understand that we're all connected, where we help each other, and where we choose compassion.
That's a world worth fighting for, don't you think?
Absolutely. And maybe, just by talking about these stories, by sharing these lessons, we can get other people thinking about these things too.
That's the hope, isn't it? Thanks for joining us on this deep dive today. Keep searching for those hidden gems of wisdom no matter where they are. You never know what you might find. All right, so get ready because today we are diving deep into a forest fable.
Oh, I love a good fable.
Me too. And this one's all about balance, harmony, and you know how everything in nature's like connected.
Yeah.
You sent this incredible story, and I am so excited to like unpack it with you and really get to its deeper meaning.
Sounds good.
Okay, so it all begins in this peaceful forest, like picture it, right? Filled with all sorts of creatures just living together in perfect harmony.
Okay.
But like any good story, there's got to be a twist, right?
Right.
And there is. Something's polluting the river.
Oh, no.
I know, right? The river, it's like the lifeblood of the whole ecosystem.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's interesting how these fables, even though they have talking animals and stuff,
Right.
they can like hold up a mirror to our own messy world, you know?
Totally.
And like this whole story focuses on environmental harmony.
Yes.
Really makes you think about how we humans interact with nature.
It does. And what I really love is that the animals don't just like sit back and watch their home fall apart. They call a meeting.
Okay.
Which, let's be honest, probably sounds a lot like some of those family gatherings we all try to avoid.
Oh, totally.
But it shows how much they value their shared home.
Right.
So Leo, the wise lion, he steps up to lead the charge in finding a solution.
Okay.
So that's like a really important point. It highlights how powerful it is to come together,
It is?
right? Like when the environment's threatened,
Yeah.
it's not just one individual's problem.
Oh,
It affects the whole community.
absolutely.
And they realize they need to act collectively.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, now we're getting to the good part, the mystery.
Okay, I like a good mystery.
Oliver the owl, with his super sharp vision, spots some really strange tracks near the river.
Oh,
And these aren't your everyday squirrel tracks.
no.
These suggest something big.
Uh-oh.
An unknown has entered the forest. Talk about suspense.
That's right. It's like a classic whodunit, but set in the wild.
Yeah.
The author does a fantastic job of like pulling you in, making you wonder who or what could be messing with this delicate balance.
Right. And the animals become these detectives.
Okay.
They're following disturbed soil, damaged trees.
Wow.
It's all these clues, and you can almost feel the anticipation building, right? As
Yeah.
they close in on the source of all this trouble. Those vivid details, you're right, they totally immerse you in the story.
They do.
You're right there with them, feeling all the tension, all that curiosity.
Nice way.
And finally, drumroll please, the culprit is revealed.
Okay, who is it?
It's a huge, exhausted elephant
Yep.
desperately searching for water. I
Wow.
know. Now, you might expect the story to paint the elephant as the villain, right?
Yeah.
But there's a crucial twist. The author really emphasizes the elephant's remorse.
Oh, okay.
It makes it very clear that there was no malicious intent.
That's
It's like this big aha moment. It makes you realize that harm isn't always intentional.
right.
Sometimes it's just a result of need or even like ignorance. Kind of like that time I accidentally deleted all those files on your computer. Well, let's not go there. But you're right. It's a valuable reminder.
Yeah.
We need to consider the unintended consequences of our actions.
That's right.
We might not always be aware of the full impact.
Yeah.
But that doesn't let us off the hook.
For sure.
Absolutely. So how does Leo, the wise leader, react to this? Like giant, thirsty intruder.
Right.
He doesn't roar. He doesn't banish the elephant.
Okay.
Instead, he chooses to understand.
Oh.
He sees that punishment won't fix anything,
Yeah.
but maybe education and a little compassion will.
That's good. Leo's response perfectly embodies the whole story's central message.
Okay.
True strength isn't about brute force.
No.
It's about understanding and cooperation.
I love that.
Yeah, it's a powerful alternative to that might makes right mentality,
Yes.
that we see so often.
All the time. And this is where the story takes a turn for the awesome.
Okay.
Leo guides the elephant to this hidden spring deep in the forest,
Oh, wow.
a secret source of water that can quench the elephant's thirst without harming the river.
That's great. It's such a clever solution.
Isn't it?
Speaks to the possibility of finding those win-win answers.
Yes.
Where everyone benefits.
Exactly. It's not about taking something away. It's about ensuring the well-being of that entire ecosystem.
Right. The whole system.
It's this beautiful image of shared resources and respecting the environment. The elephant promises to never harm the river again,
Oh, good.
understanding that delicate balance that the forest depends on. And this is where I think the story starts to get really interesting, don't you think?
Absolutely. And what's fascinating here is how the story shifts from that, like, conflict
Right.
to resolution.
Yeah.
It's not just about identifying the problem.
Right.
It's about finding a way to, like, move forward together.
Yeah, totally. And it really makes you think,
Yeah.
how often do we jump to conclusions?
Oh, yeah.
Instead of trying to understand, like, the root of a problem? I know I've definitely been guilty of that a few times.
We all have.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But this fable, it reminds us that
Yeah.
there's always another side to the story.
Right.
It encourages us to approach those challenges with empathy
Yes.
and a willingness to listen,
Yes.
even when it's tough.
Even when it's really hard.
Yeah.
So the elephant, instead of being ostracized,
Right.
becomes part of the forest community,
Oh, wow.
learns to live in harmony with everyone else,
That's great.
contributing to the well-being of the whole forest.
Yeah.
It's a powerful message of redemption, don't you think?
Absolutely. And it ties into that concept of interconnectedness, right?
Yes.
The elephant's actions.
Yeah.
They had a ripple effect
Yeah.
on the whole ecosystem.
Totally.
Just like our choices can impact those around us,
Yes.
even when we don't realize it.
Totally. It's like that old saying, no man is an island.
Right.
We're all part of this intricate web,
Yeah.
and our actions can have consequences that reach far beyond ourselves.
Precisely. And the story subtly reminds us
Yeah.
that we humans
Yeah.
can sometimes be a bit like that elephant at first.
Okay.
A little careless with our environment,
Yeah.
not always grasping the full impact of our choices.
Totally. Yeah. We don't always mean to cause harm,
Right.
but sometimes we just don't see the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Makes you think about those little everyday decisions, right?
Yeah, it does.
Like using a reusable bag
Right.
or choosing to bike instead of drive.
Uh-huh.
They might seem small, but they all add up.
Absolutely. It's about cultivating a mindset of responsibility.
Yes.
Not just for our own well-being,
Right.
but for the health of the planet
Yes.
and future generations.
Yeah.
We're not just inheriting this earth.
Right.
We're borrowing it, right?
That's such a powerful way to put it.
Yeah.
It's like we're holding this precious resource in trust for those who come after us.
We are.
And this story reminds us
Yeah.
that we have a choice to either protect that legacy
Yes.
or squander it.
That's right. And what strikes me is how the story ends
Yeah,
on such a hopeful note.
it does.
The forest is thriving.
Yeah.
The animals are living in harmony.
Yeah.
And there's this sense that even when challenges arise,
Yeah.
understanding and cooperation
Right.
can pave the way for a brighter future.
It's like a breath of fresh air, right?
It is.
It gives you this feeling that even when things seem messy or divided,
Yeah,
there's always hope
there is.
for positive change.
Yep.
It just takes that willingness to listen, to
Right.
understand, and to work together.
Exactly. It's a powerful message of resilience
It is.
and the transformative power of compassion.
Yeah.
It suggests that even seemingly insurmountable problems
Right.
can be overcome
Yeah.
when we approach them with a spirit of unity
Yes.
and a willingness to learn from one another.
I love that. So we've explored this beautiful forest fable together,
We have.
peeling back its layers of meaning and symbolism. Yeah.
But here's the big question for you, the listener.
Okay.
What does this all mean for your life?
That's a good question.
How can we take this story,
Right.
this message of balance and harmony,
Right.
and apply it to our own experiences?
That's the core of it, isn't it?
I think so.
This fable gives us valuable insights
Yeah.
into conflict resolution,
Uh-huh.
environmental stewardship,
Yes.
and the importance of understanding different perspectives.
It does.
These are principles we can weave into our daily interactions
Yeah.
and decisions.
I agree. Think about the challenges you face.
Yeah.
Those tricky situations where everyone's needs seem to clash.
Right.
Maybe it's a disagreement with a coworker,
Yeah.
conflict within your family,
Uh-huh.
or even a broader societal issue that you're passionate about.
Right.
How can you bring that same spirit of understanding and compassion
Yes.
that Leo showed to the table?
It all starts with listening,
Yeah.
truly listening to understand the other person's viewpoint.
Yes. Even if you don't agree with it,
Right.
it's about finding common ground like those animals in the forest
Right.
and searching for solutions that work for everyone.
Yes. And just as those animals work together to protect their shared home,
Uh-huh.
we can all play a role in creating a more sustainable and harmonious world.
Absolutely.
It's about making conscious choices,
Yes.
advocating for what we believe in,
Yes.
and spreading awareness about the things that matter.
That's right. It's about recognizing that we're all interconnected.
Yeah,
Just like the inhabitants of that forest,
totally.
our actions have consequences.
Yeah.
And we have a responsibility to consider the well-being of the larger community,
Absolutely.
both the human one and the natural one.
This deep dive has really gotten me thinking.
Yeah, me too.
It's so easy to get caught up in our own little worlds
It is.
and forget about the bigger picture.
Yeah.
But this story is a powerful reminder
It is.
that we're all part of something so much greater than ourselves.
And that's a beautiful realization, isn't it?
It is.
To recognize our place within this incredible web of life.
Yeah.
And to embrace the responsibility that comes with it.
I think the elephant's journey in the story is a powerful metaphor for personal growth, don't you?
It is.
We all make mistakes.
We do.
We all stumble.
Yeah.
But it's how we learn from those experiences
Right.
and choose to move forward
Yes.
that truly defines us.
Absolutely. The elephant could have easily become defensive or resentful,
Right.
but chose to acknowledge the harm caused
Yeah.
and seek a better path.
Exactly.
It's a reminder that humility
Yes.
and a willingness to learn
Yeah.
are essential for growth and positive change.
So as we wrap up our exploration of this forest fable,
Okay.
I want to leave you with one final thought to ponder.
Okay.
The story highlights that delicate balance within the forest ecosystem,
Right.
where every creature has a vital role to play.
Right.
But what about our own human communities?
That's the question, isn't it?
Yeah, how do we balance those individual needs with the well-being of the larger group?
Right.
Whether that's our family, our neighborhood,
Right.
our city,
Yeah.
or even like our global society. It's a
Right.
question that can feel like kind of overwhelming, right?
It is a complex question.
Yeah.
There's no easy answer.
Right.
But this fable, it kind of gives us a framework for like thinking about it.
Yeah, I love that you said framework.
Yeah.
Because it's not about finding one right answer.
No.
It's about approaching these challenges
Yeah,
with a certain mindset.
exactly.
Great.
It's about recognizing that we're all interconnected
Yes.
and that our actions have consequences.
Uh-huh.
It's about approaching conflict with empathy
Yes.
and a willingness to listen.
Right.
And it's about searching for solutions that benefit the whole community,
Yes.
not just ourselves.
That reminds me of something you mentioned earlier about restorative justice,
Oh, yeah.
where the focus is on repairing harm and understanding motivations rather than just punishment.
Yes, it's about asking, how can we move forward in a way that benefits everyone involved,
Right.
rather than who's to blame?
Exactly. This deep dive has really given me a lot to think about.
too.
It's so easy to get caught up in the day-to-day
It is.
and forget about the bigger picture.
Yeah.
But this story reminds us
Mm-hmm.
that we're all part of something much larger than ourselves.
And that's a beautiful realization, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
To recognize our place within this incredible web of life
Yeah.
and to embrace the responsibility that comes with it.
It's like we're all threads
Mhm.
in this giant tapestry,
We are.
each one unique and important.
That's right.
And when we work together,
Yeah.
we create something beautiful and strong.
The forest teaches us that true strength lies not in force or
Yeah.
dominance,
Right.
but in understanding,
Mhm.
compassion, and
Yeah.
cooperation.
I love that.
These are the qualities that can lead us toward a more balanced and harmonious future.
Well said. I think that's a perfect note to end on.
Yeah, it is.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the heart of the forest,
What?
we hope you've come away with some new insights and perspectives to ponder.
Absolutely.
Remember, the forest is always there,
It is.
whispering its ancient wisdom,
Yeah.
inviting us to listen,
Uh-huh.
to learn,
Yes.
and to grow.
That's right.
Thanks for joining us on this journey.
It was a pleasure.
Until next time, keep exploring,
Yeah.
keep learning,
Keep asking questions.
and keep seeking those aha moments that make life so rich and rewarding.
That's right.